why would an artist set up their ultimate palette with 25 watercolors and then go to the trouble of spending the price of a 12 milliliter watercolor tube of paint to buy a swatch card from the same brand of those 25 colors in their ultimate palette? I have a swatch card of the 90 single pigments that MaimeriBlu has in their complete collection of watercolors. And I'm going to explain with you today why I spent the price of a full tube of paint to get just a dot of each of the 90 different colors of watercolors in today's video. Let me welcome you to Country Boardwalk Studios. I'm CB Mack, a multimedia artist who enjoys making my own art supplies for plein air painting, urban sketching, and to use in the studio. So let's go check in the studio why I decided to spend $22 on average US dollars for this swatch card of 90 dots of paint in their range. All right, boardwalkers, so why on earth would I be buying a swatch card of the 90 different colors that MaimeriBlu has when back in November 13th, 2024, we swatched these colors for my primary palette that I had chosen. And then in November 8th, just last year, 5 months ago, we added these other 4 colors to my palette. Why would I go to the trouble of buying a 90 dot swatch card? I mean, they're not very big dots. You can't really paint a lot with them, so why would I do this? Well, if you're an experienced or beginning artist, if you'll notice, we chose these colors for my palette 2 years ago. And so maybe I want to change up some colors, and I want to choose to add some new colors like I did 5 months ago. Also, when I chose these 25 colors, I was going basically on a split primary, which are these 6 colors here: the primary yellow, the cadmium yellow, the primary red magenta, the pyrrole red, the primary blue cyan, and the Berlin blue, which is considered the phthalo blue in Maimeri's collection. Sometimes artists choose their colors based on other artists' input, and especially if you're a beginner and you don't know what colors you want to use, I would definitely suggest picking a set of watercolors you'd like to try and get their swatch card. This swatch card from MaimeriBlu, I paid $22.89, and that's US dollars, for all 90 colors that they have. And this is really a good investment because it's the price of one 12 milliliter tube of paint. This is a 12 milliliter tube of paint. And granted, there's not that much paint on this swatch card, but it does give me the chance to go through here and look at what colors I can get that are 12 milliliter available, or 1.5 milliliter. I can also, let me pull this plastic protective sheet off. That's to keep your paints from sticking to each other. I can also tell what the opaqueness is of the color. I can get the name of the color, the pigment number, whether the color is staining or non-staining, or granulating or non-granulating. I can also check their star rating as to whether it's 3 stars or 2 stars or 1 star. I can also check the grade level of the price. There's just so many different things that a swatch card will tell you. And over time, like most artists, your palette's going to change its colors, and you're going to want to change and add up some things. MaimeriBlu has superior watercolors. There's 90 single pigment colors. They're transparent, clear, and bright. The perfection and purity of the color allows a limitless amount of glazing. The highest degree of pigment purity and quality. They're carefully selected for layering to create sharp and impeccable tone overlapping. There's 7 cadmium pigments, 5 transparent in the cadmium shades. There's 11 cobalt pigments, 8 quinacridone pigments, 5 phthalocyanine pigments, 8 natural earth and ochre pigments from the Italian quarries, and 5 iron oxides. MaimeriBlu is manufactured in Italy. I don't know if I said that earlier. But these rare pigments can produce the unthinkable. Oh, then there's rare pigments that can produce the unthinkable. There's Payne's gray, indigo, neutral tint, and Naples yellow. They're perfectly concentrated pigments to ensure that the transparency and the brightness of every color appears true. The pigments disperse with a perfectly balanced blend of natural Kordofan gum arabic and glycerin that complement one another and guarantee a solid hold when both dry and wet, and that the right amount of color will penetrate the surface. They're extraordinarily transparent. Every single color can provide extreme washes and intense deep shades, which work in unison to define even the smallest of details with powerful chromatic strength. 15 colors that granulate in their original form with no intervention carried out to modify their characteristics. MaimeriBlu is carefully processed using artisan methods throughout every stage of manufacture and undergo individual checks. Pigments are processed in refining machines whose settings are fine-tuned to achieve the right balance between the fine grain size and the purity of the color. They have a medium grain size of 5 microns, and as I said, they're manufactured in Italy. So that's one of the reasons why a valuable toolkit would be to get a swatch card of whatever brand you would like to try to use. And I have found that each brand of paint, student grade and professional grade, are going to have different characteristics in the brands based on, you know, the pigment grain size and what binders they use. Some brands are better for glazes. Some brands are better with granulation. Some brands are better for their opaqueness and that. So there's really no right or wrong about swatches and brands. It's based on your needs. And so I'm going to swatch these out. I'm not going to do it on camera here because that'll take too long. But I'm going to go ahead and swatch these out, and I will come back and I'll show you the different colors. Now, when I picked these 25 colors here, I picked them based on talking with artist friends and based on colors I've used with other brands and what items I was planning on painting and subjects. So your palette that you choose is really based on your own preferences. So let me go swatch these 90 colors and I'll come back and show you the colors. Because picking these, I just picked them from looking at them online, and I didn't have the ability to look at the actual paint here and see what the actual paint and colors do on this paper. So we'll be right back in just a few moments. All right, boardwalkers. So I'm back from swatching these 90 colors, and what I've done is I swatched them on my really good Arches 100% cotton 300 GSM 140 pound cold press paper. And look at just how vibrant these colors are. And here's what they look like on the swatch card. Now, the swatch card, I found out, is not watercolor paper. It is a white glossy card. So it's not cotton paper or pulp paper. But you can see how much of the paint I still have left on these dots. I only used about half of the dots. And there were really only 2 dots, the earth green and the, I think it was maybe the Viridian, that didn't re-wet real easy, but you can see how some of these colors re-wet really well on there. So that's one of the nice things about doing a color swatching and getting a swatch card, because you can see how it's going to react to whichever paper you decide to swatch it on. And you can make your own notes. You can see which colors are going to re-wet really well when you're using these colors. And that's something that you don't get to know and do when you're looking at buying these colors. If you're buying them in the store, you might not have that option to test those colors out And if you're at home buying online, you definitely don't have a way to test and see what those colors look like in person. They look really different online than they do in person. And I went through and looked through this set. I only have a very few of the Maimeri colors in this 25 set. Some of these I forgot are Winsor Newton, Daniel Smith colors. So I really only have my 6 primaries, the Pyrrole Orange, the Quinacridone Lake, the Ultramarine Blue Deep, the Cerulean Blue Deep, the Green Gold, the Hooker's Green, the Sap Green, the Burnt Sienna, the Sepia, the Red Sandal, the Rose Alizarin Madder, the Payne's Gray, the Cobalt Blue, the Cobalt Blue Deep, and the Dragon's Blood. So I really only have about 21 colors in my palette. And I'm also noticing, in comparison, that this version of the Cobalt Turquoise that the MaimeriBlu has is a lot more vibrant to me. Let me hold it up here. This Cobalt Turquoise is a lot more vibrant than the Winsor Newton Cobalt Turquoise I have, or the Phthalo Turquoise of the Daniel Smith that I have. So I might want to be adding that turquoise to my palette instead of these other ones. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I bought, even after choosing already my colors, this swatch card. Because now I have a better look at how these colors respond to my paper, the best paper that I'm going to be using, the 100% cotton paper. And I can see where my palette might be missing some things. Because now, even though I have a Quinacridone Lake, which is 180 in the swatch card pigment, I'm noticing I'm missing some really nice purples over here. And I'm missing quite a few of these earth tones and blacks. There's 4 different blacks here to choose from. So I'm seriously wanting to maybe up my game. I'm also missing a nice bright yellow. There's quite a few bright yellows over here that I might want to add and expand on my palette. So if you're a intermediate or even a professional artist, don't hesitate to go ahead and order you a swatch card. Even us seasoned painters learn something new when we buy a swatch card. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I look forward to doing some updates to my palette soon, and I will let you guys know which of these colors I'm going to be adding to my palette. And if you enjoyed this video and got something from it, please hit that like, thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel over here. And share this video with someone who you think might enjoy this video. Also, don't forget to comment whether or not you use MaimeriBlu watercolors or if you've ever bought a swatch card. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week, Boardwalkers. Goodbye for now.